Hello, everybody. Jeff Mason with SimpleBiz360 podcast, SimpleBiz360.com. We got the book, SimpleBiz360 Timeless Business Tools, $18.95 on Amazon. Hey, if you like the show, I keep forgetting to say, we would love you to subscribe. You just go down to, you'll see, you're looking at the screen on YouTube, you'll see at the bottom right-hand corner a little favicon there. If you just click on that, there's tons of other ways. If you open up the actual video on YouTube to subscribe as well. We just thank you for all the viewers. We thanked all the viewers across the world that are joining the show, and just really excited, up over 10 countries now, and just really pumped up that things are, being looked at and viewed and listened to as helpful. So we're just thank you guys for all that. We have Matt and Dietz behind the window here at Half Coast Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. They are running the show, running the boards. Guys, how you doing in there? Is everybody doing good today? Yeah, so they just had their Jimmy Johns. We did Jimmy John's a couple, 4 or 5 shows ago, remember? Freaky fast, but those guys do a wonderful job of creating expectations and delivering on those expectations they create, and they do it mighty quick too. Any rate, we are here. It's in the heart of February. Hope the weather's not too atrociously cold where you are. And we just really look forward to today's show. We are going to spend some time today talking about thinking. And I just, it's really something that's on my mind. I said last week, this kind of like a health clinic for businesses was what I really saw these 3 shows as, and maybe even next week could be lumped in there. But the whole idea of thinking is just so vitally important to everything that I do. And, I've learned so much about it over the years. I just want to share some things with you. But some questions. Why is think on my topic list? We all think, but to what level? Do we hear or do we think about what we hear? Do we ignore what we hear and then research and think about it and on our own? What has 2020 taught us about thinking? What has 2020 done for us in terms of clear vision? And why is thinking essential to business? So as we look back on 2020, it was an eye-opener for millions and millions of people worldwide, because it really, we saw so many things happen in such a short span of time. And, I think more than not, people scratched their heads and said, in what I'm hearing, is this really what's going on? Or is there another story here that I'm missing? And just so vitally important for businesses to look at the concept of thinking and plug it into how you do business. And I want to just share a quick AIG, American International Group story with you. I've shared it on a couple of podcasts, but again, it was just so crystal clear to me when it happened, but real fast. I made a call on a gentleman on the executive floor, got into his office, got into my questioning, but I was blown away as I was sitting in his office. He had nothing in his office, nothing. He had a pad of paper, a light, a credenza, a pencil or pen, and a phone, and that was it. There was nothing else in this office. It was just barren. And when I went through some questioning and realized there was nothing I could do for this person, I said, there's nothing here I can do for you, so I'm gonna bail out. But before I do, what is it that you do here at AIG? And he said he was paid to think and then take his thoughts into the boardroom. And I just never forgot leaving that business call saying if that was important to AIG, then it's got to be important to little old me. And I've just always adopted a posture of finding quiet time to think through things, to think things out, to really contemplate and put a strategy together through thought. I've shared with you, I go to a cabin and I do some thinking there. That's really just a great way for me to do it. But, everybody's got their place and special chair or section of the house or park bench or, lake they go to, whatever. But really just encourage it to be part of your whole mantra. And really, when we look at thinking, thinking creates, right? The more you think and give things thought, the more creating you'll end up doing, because the stuff is gonna be bubbled up to your mind, and it's gonna be able to flush out in the form of some type of creation of a certain customer service angle you want to present, maybe fixing a customer service set of tools you have. It's going to allow you to create new products, create new variances of that product, new ways to bring your services to customers, new ways of communicating to customers. Just so many healthy things. Thinking clarifies. It just clarifies what you're trying to do. Thinking broadens. It broadens horizons. And thinking sharpens. It sharpens your business, because, the more you improve things, the sharper your business gets, the more customer centric it gets, the more focused it is. So I kind of want to park there and transfer everything over to television for a second. My mother used to always call it the boob tube. And she meant that we just sit there like a bunch of boobs as kids and waste our time. We could be out playing ball or doing this or doing that, but we just sit there in front of the tube and watch it, the boob tube, right? And so when I watch TV and I look at how it interfaces with our society, I just want to throw some things out there for you to think of. That, TV stifles. It does, because you're just sitting there. You're shutting yourself down, you're shutting your creativity down, and you're just adopting what's being fed to you. TV narrows. It just narrows your bandwidth of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. It just kind of, it programs you. It engineers what you're thinking, what your thought process should be. It numbs, it blinds, and it dulls. And if you think about that, and, trust me when I tell you this, that the people who are putting content on television to feed to you realize they have created an audience globally that will sit there and not question much of what they hear. So they've got a captive audience to say, hey, this is the healthiest, this is the best, this is the way to think about this is the way to do that. And we just sit there and go, okay, even on some of our favorite shows, believe it or not, they're weaving in an angle they want us to think about, want us to believe, want to captivate our minds, and we don't even know it. It's subliminal. And they've learned how to do this. And trust me, there have been big-powered people in every walk of life that have been hired to learn how to harness that psychological connection, they're making with us as we sit on our, polyester perches in our living rooms listening to the boob tube. So, I just say it's the nemesis in a way of business creativity, business generation, business improvement, business, acceleration, business focus. It just, the more you spend time in front of that, the less you spend time thinking about ways to do business. And God forbid, if you're, using a second equity loan, or you're using a second mortgage, or you're using your inheritance, or you're using your savings, or you're using, your IRA to finance your business, you're taking out a healthy loan, you owe it to yourself and your family to try to do the best you can with that investment, try to get the biggest return on that investment. And I just say that, the more and more we lean towards television, the less and less we're able to really give ourselves a great return on the investment of time and money that we have put forth. And it's really stripping us of that time. And, it's that creative, it's that thinking attitude that creates everything. So I just really want to, let you, chew on that a little bit, but I just say acquire an appetite for making time to think. Really just make that part of your schedule, fit it in somehow. Acquire a desire to think through things. So I don't know about you, but I stopped watching television news a while ago. I don't watch any at all. I don't care. My life is so much better. Oh my gosh, so much healthier. I don't get upset. I don't get grumpy. I don't get, it's just so much better. I just don't watch it. I watch some television shows. We tape some things, but very rarely, you know. I mean, but I don't watch it. But if you do watch it, here's what I want you to think. Rather than think of your television as that screen that's you're looking into, think of it in this fashion, its width fashion. And I really want to encourage you to think through the front of that television to the back. I want you to think through things more. I just encourage you to think through things more. Because the answers that you really want and the truth is not in what you're hearing or seeing. It's when you think through that television set and when you start reading between the lines and you start seeing the motives, you start seeing the hidden agendas, you start seeing what you're not seeing and what you're not hearing. And I just want to encourage, anybody listening to this, I don't care where you are in the world, man, I'm just saying, you want a healthier life, you want your businesses to generate more, you want to be more of a creator than just a copy and paster and business modeler of what you hear and see on television. Man, if that's you, if you want more out of your business and you want more out of your life, turn that darn thing off. Just turn it off. I mean, especially the news portion of it. You don't need it. There's plenty of ways to get news anymore, and they're just telling you what they want you to think anyways. I don't care whether you're right, left, or center. It's garbage at this point. The real answers require devoted thought. Customers love companies that think of them. They do. They can tell it. They can sense it. They can smell it. They can feel it. They know that when they have a good experience in a transaction and the dust is settled on it, they go, you know what? Those guys thought through all the elements of their business well enough, all the transactional components well enough, knowing that each one of those would cast a perception off of how that company treats their customers. And man, at the end of the transaction process, I love these guys. I love this company. They did a great job. That's that experience. Remember what Starbucks realized in that big dig? We talked about it last year. In the end, they realized that they were more of an experience business. They were more atmospheric. They weren't serving coffee to people. They were serving people coffee, right? So just think about that experience end. Think of your customers first, last, and always, and everything will fall into place quite nicely. I was taught that early on in 1984 when I worked for a company, and they used commissions at the end. They just said, think of your customers first, last, and always, and the commissions will follow. And they did, and it's so true, and it's just so easy, right? So I do want to say something here. I'm going to get a couple handouts here, if I have them, share with you. Sorry about that. These are little 25-minute segments that I do for Chamber of Commerce's, and they're little talks that I give. And on the back of each one of these postcards are actually the notes. When I give a talk, I hand out the notes, and it's 25 minutes, boom, it's done. But embedded in each one of these 5 modules is an invitation to spend time thinking. So I really want to just say, if any Chamber of Commerce is out there wants me to come in and speak at a luncheon, it's free. I'm not really fond of the virtual. I'm tired of that, but I can't wait to do it in person. But customer feedback MVP, right? Here's another one. We got delivering easy peasy, right? And we got here, really good soup. Over here, when rubber meets road. And over here, cryptic communication. Again, the notes are always on the back. So if you ever want me to come in and talk, I would love to just give you that menu, and you can pick which talk you want me to give. But embedded in those is that concept of thinking through things. So anyway, what I want to leave you today with is a great Lost in the Shuffle track by a band called Loggins and Messina, 1971. Jimmy Messina, who had been with Buffalo Springfield. You probably remember them from the 69 period. They had some political songs that came out. And he was with Poco, another kind of a country band, pretty cool band. And he got together with Kenny Loggins, who was a singer-songwriter at that point, and they got together and formed Loggins and Messina. And in their first album, Sitting In, they put out a tune called Peace of Mind, and it's just really, really a comforting, good tune. And, thinking will give you a good peace of mind and just really, I think, bring you to a better place, and especially turn on that TV off. So we're going to leave you with that. You'll see the little icon or click on that you can hover on to in the upper right-hand corner. For Loggins and Messina Sitting In. Folks, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you're getting something out of these little mini business health clinics, if you will. We got one more next week. And just want to encourage you to always remember to respond, follow up, follow through. Remember, customer perception is customer reality. Make sure you just stay safe out there. And we will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in.